It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on the Uncancelled show. This, of course, was canceled due to my having a biopsy. Those of you that don't follow me on Facebook, to bring you up to date on the news, I guess last night the surgeon was sitting over a martini and looking at x-rays and figuring what he's got to do tomorrow. And he decides that this thing in my lung, wherever the hell it is too small to biopsy. So they called last night and canceled it. They said, basically, we'll continue looking at it and we'll watch it. We'll do the scans like I've been doing the scans twice a year for 4 years now anyway. So they'll do the scans, and I guess if it grows, they'll reschedule the biopsy at that time. I suppose that's good news. I got an issue in there, and the reason that this all was headed in this direction was that it had grown some. But apparently not enough, because the surgeon over a martini decides that he's not sure he can get the needle. I mean, they're going to jab me in the chest with a needle and suck crap out. And he decided that he wasn't sure he could hit it. So I don't know if that was the martini talking or the x-ray talking. But anyway, it's been canceled. I didn't have to go through the procedure. That part's a good thing, because I was a little worried about it. So anyway, I'm not in the hospital as was planned. I am instead here to aggravate you beyond hope. Good morning. I didn't know if anybody would be able to show up today or not. So Bonnie's here, Gretchen's here, John Reitmeyer's here. Good heavens, everybody's here this morning. Glad to see all you guys. Put some fertilizer on it and it'll grow. Thanks, John. Yeah, I'll do that. Do I have to eat the fertilizer, or can I just sprinkle it on my chest? I don't know these procedures. Robert, good to have you here, Robert. Hello, Chillie. Hope you're okay. Yeah, on the mend. Yeah. Well, at least I didn't have to go through the procedure. So don't know what that means entirely. But it's better than the alternatives of bad things. Pete's with us. Hey, Pete, glad you're over there in London. He talks funny, folks. By the way, again, a lot of you guys, and I do appreciate this, a lot of you guys joined us on Sunday on the Three Amigos Cruises for Solo show from London. Over there on Pete's channel that I co-host with John Reitmeyer and, of course, Pete. And we had a marvelous, marvelous show on Sunday. We had a couple lovely ladies, Kim Cameron, who's a Expedia agent out in Portland, Oregon, and Rachel Hunt, who is a crew member on board the Symphony of the Seas and Royal Caribbean. They both had interesting stories at sea during COVID. Kim was literally kicked off of her ship. She was on a cruise in Santiago, Chile. And I don't know, she had to swim home to Portland, Oregon, or however she got home. And of course, Rachel was out there sailing around for goodness knows how long with no passengers. So interesting story. It was a lovely show. It really was good. The Cruise Amigos on the Cruises for Solos channel every Sunday afternoon, 3:00 our time, 8:00 Europe time, or London time. Jim Simpson. Good morning, Jim. Glad to have you with us. Some of you guys that are new will notice that we have all kinds of comments that go on throughout the whole show as everybody in the audience out there seems to get to know everybody, and they carry on the chat constantly. So anyway, welcome aboard. If you are new, we do this regularly on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday mornings, talk about cruise and travel industry news on all sorts of things. This show was supposed to be canceled. It's not today. I'm here at the last minute because I didn't have to go to the hospital this morning, which is a good thing. So as far as news goes, there's not a whole lot out there, quite frankly. At least nothing that's really that surprising. It's now official. The United States has been banned from entering Europe. We've got to get a handle on this stuff, folks. We really do. And until we do, it's affecting our lives of cruising. It's affecting our lives of travel. I saw some statistics during the night last night. 56% of the American public feel that it's not safe to fly. That's got to change, folks. The airlines seem to be doing a lot of things right as far as, they're doing like the cruise ships. They're making the changes. United came out yesterday. They are requiring a face mask. If you do not wear a face mask, you cannot fly United. I think more businesses need to do that. As much as you people don't want to wear face masks, folks, until we get a handle on this thing, until we get a vaccine that's going to work, wear your face mask. Goodness gracious. You don't wear your face mask. There was a used clothing store said you must have a face mask to enter this store. And if you don't wear a face mask, after this is over with, we'll be happy to debate the issue of you wearing a face mask or not wearing a face mask when you come in to sell your dead grandmother's clothes. So, wear your face mask, people. It helps keep you safe. It helps keep us safe. So, and if you feel about it as strongly as I do, if a store does not require face masks in today's world, boycott them. Just don't go. You guys are all my social sphere. I have no other social life and won't until this is all over with. Until we can be safe to go cruising and we can be safe to travel. And the only way I see it until this is done is to socially distance, of course, continue with the personal hygiene, the washing of the hands and so forth, and wear your mask. It's just simple. It's insane not to anymore. And those that tried to open too early, look at they're having to turn back now. They're having to close things back down. And we don't want that to happen. We want the economy to flourish. We want to get back to normal. But you can't do it by jumping in too quickly. Follow the guidelines, And this is not a political issue. This is not a try to make Trump look bad issue. This is a health issue, and it's something we all got to work on together to get past this. And as long as a major segment of the population isn't willing to come together and do this thing right, do it the way the scientists say, whether you like the science or not, it might not be say what you want them to say, but it's a way to get through it. So I'll quit ranting, honest. Okay. Broadway. Some of you like to go to New York and go to Broadway shows, as I do. Closed for the rest of the year. They're not even going to try to reopen. Just another block from the COVID thing. So Broadway is going to stay dark. Certainly sorry to hear that, but again, it's not surprising. We've talked a bunch about the ships being sold, and it finally was officially announced the first of the Carnival family ship is gone, and that is the Costa Victoria, and that's no surprise to anybody. That was one of the ones that we were 99% sure was going to be gone from before they even came out with the fact that they're going to be selling some ships and doing away with some ships. There's still a bunch of question marks out there, folks, on what other ships, both in the Carnival fleet and the Royal Caribbean fleet, that are going to go, that we have not heard official words on. I'm probably as interested in the Royal Caribbean because of, a couple of ships that are possibly are going to go is Empress of the Sea and Grandeur of the Sea, Lady G, out of Baltimore. And those are two ships that I like. I like that size ship, folks. I do. I'm old fashioned. I realize that. I like the smaller ships better than I like the big behemoths, but that's me. So still waiting to hear news on a lot of the other ships. But anyway, so the first ship in Carnival is done. It's gone. And that's Acosta Victoria. So let's see. Do I have anything else here this morning? U.S. barred from Europe. Closed. Carnival. Oh, yeah. We talked back about a month ago, 6 weeks ago, the first cruise line to come up with CDC guidelines that actually made sense was Genting over there in Asia on the Dream Cruises. And they have now announced that they will be sailing July 26th, I believe, is their sail day. So there will actually be a regular ongoing cruise line, global cruise line will be sailing. And that's Dream Cruises, which is part of the Genting organization. The Explorer Dream is the ship. Will start operations in Taiwan. So that we've got Carnival, Bahamas Paradise is still, as far as we know, going to sail in July. You've got some river cruises in Europe that are going. You've got the one Norway cruise, the Dream, what is it? Sea Dream, that's sailing around up in Norway that sailed this past week. So we're getting a few things going in the right direction. Our biggest problem, folks, in this country is we've got to get a better handle on the COVID thing, and we've got to get the curve flattened and it heading back in the right direction. And right now, we're not doing that. We're having the spikes everywhere, not everywhere, but 25 or 6 states. It's going up. We got to level that out and get it back to where we're going in the right direction again. Now, admittedly, folks, it's better than it was. The death rate is down. That's certainly a help. But the biggest fear of the spiking that's going on, and a lot of it is because of bars and restaurants that opened before the states had the guidelines covered that should have been the requirements before they opened. Because of the uptick in cases, how long is it going to be until those younger folks that are now getting infected, and admittedly they're not as sick as the senior citizens were, but how long is that going to take to get back to the seniors again and then cause more problems with the seniors? Thankfully, many in my age group are looking at handling this thing smart and trying to protect themselves as much as they can. And that's, hopefully going to save some lives in the long run. But that's something we clearly got to work on before we get back to sailing, folks, as much as I want to. And the airlines, again, my hat's off to United for coming out with a hardline policy about masks. All in favor of that. And folks, I don't like wearing a mask either. I've gotten pretty used to it now So it doesn't bother me like it did at first. At first, I struggled with it because I'm kind of claustrophobic to start with. I'm not real crazy about wearing it, but as long as we got this problem, I'm going to. So the other thing that we had kind of interesting news this morning, but most of you know, those of you that have been following me for a while, my niece is a pet sitter, professional pet sitter, has a pet sitting business. And when she was traveling a lot, like last year, she was in New York taking care of clients like 4 times. She was in Florida twice with the clients down there. She was in New Zealand for almost 2 months. And when she's gone, I run her business for her. You know, I can handle the pet sitting. This year with the COVID thing, of course, people aren't traveling like they have. So her business is, gone to nothing. Well, it's starting to pick up a little now. And then the other thing, you guys all know that last year that have followed me know that last year I was out at the horse farm a lot, taking care of a couple mini horses, and that were shipped to last fall. Were shipped to England, as a matter of fact. One of them was pregnant. The slut got pregnant and had to go over to England to deliver her baby. That was the way it was planned. But anyway, they just brought a couple horses back today to the horse farm, and that's Patty Cake and Charisma, who I'm going to be going to visit. Matter of fact, probably next weekend, as a matter of fact, if all goes well, I'll be out at the horse farm for the weekend to take care of the horses and dogs and cat and out there, because Amanda's booked. It's the first time we've actually had a double booking for a while. And of course, I haven't been out of the house forever other than the doctor's appointment. So it'll be good, even though I still will shelter in place out there as opposed to here. That's probably going to happen next weekend. So that's some good news. The other thing that I would point out to you this morning, again, for if you were talking or on the show Sunday, you met Rachel. That's Rachel Hunt. She's just such a lovely person. A good story about Rachel. She's one of the reasons I started cruising solo, and I'm going back before she worked for Royal Caribbean. I chatted with her online several times about cruising solo, and she was one of the main reasons that I decided to start solo cruising. And, after the fact, obviously, I've become involved with Pete and John, and that whole group have been on now 1, 2, 3, 4 solo cruising solo. And I'm very comfortable with that. Totally comfortable with it. But anyway, Rachel was the reason that I started going. And as you know, I always ask folks about their favorite ship and their favorite port of call. And then we had an interesting discussion this time, and John Reitmeyer is the one that brought this up, that maybe the more important question that I should ask is what cruise ship you wouldn't go back on, you wouldn't sail on a second time. Well, Rachel's, and I told Rachel that she could not use the Symphony of the Sea that she works on, but what was her favorite cruise ship, and it was P&O. Again, a lot of us Americans are not familiar with many of the European companies. P&O is one of the regulars over there. I think they're part of the Carnival umbrella. But anyway, the P&O Ventura is her favorite cruise ship. And her favorite port of call is Alden, Norway. And I can see why. That's pretty awesome sights up there. And then when asked about a ship that she would not sail again, her least favorite cruise ship was also a P&O ship, was the P&O Oceana. And by the way, John Reitmeyer, who said, he would never again go on the Norwegian Star. That was just awful. And he had a lot of reasons why he wouldn't do that. And then Kim Cameron, who was also on, was on that show, said that's one of her favorite ships, and she's booked them again for next year. So everybody's going to have a different opinion about that. But anyway, it's always a fun look to hear what other people think about cruise ships and so forth, and ports of call as well. As always, folks, those of you interested in our cruise next fall, going to Europe, we're going to set European cruising back up probably 100 years. I'm going over there and joining Pete, and maybe we're going to get John over there as well. But going on a Greek island cruise and then a Western Mediterranean cruise, going back to back. One of them out of Venice and one of them out of Rome, or Civitavecchia. So anyway, down in the description, wherever that is underneath this video, there'll be a link to the video I made on those cruises with some information on that. Again, my website, I one of these days, maybe I'll start being able to add European stuff onto the website. It's just hard for a one-person man operation to do that kind of stuff. But anyway, it's not on the website yet, but if you want information, I'll be happy to get it for you. And of course, there's always a link. I'm keeping pretty much a permanent link down there for any of you that are interested in the Bahamas Paradise line. I really like those guys. They're awesome. Okay, let's go back and check on comments to see where we were. John says he support wearing face masks everywhere. Yeah, boy, I do too. Nikki's with us. Hey, Nikki, good to see you again. Our mayor made masks mandatory yesterday. Awesome. Glad to hear that. Of course, that's up in Jacksonville. I wish they'd do it more places. Bubba and Princess got hemp and salmon oil every day. Oh, they get Prince and hemp and salmon oil every day. So Bubba and Princess walk around stone. Oh, excuse me. John Reitmeyer grows pot. At least I call it pot. He calls it cannabis. And he makes hemp and I don't know if he does salmon oil, but he makes stuff out of pot and rubs it on. I thought you smoked it, but that's me. But that's my friend John. Gretchen, I'll fly. Just give me some place to go. Yeah. The only thing that bothers me about the airlines is you just can't socially distance on a plane. But if they wear the masks, okay, it's better than it's been. And goodness knows the health procedures, the cleanliness is better than it's ever been. So I'm probably like you, Gretchen. Yeah, when the time comes, I'll fly. But right now, the majority of the public are saying no. And that same public, and the study didn't go to cruises, but I would imagine the same, 56% of the people that do not feel it would be safe to fly would not feel safe on a cruise ship either. Gretchen says, my son's English bulldog got it for a while, saved his life. Bonnie says, I wear my face mask even when walking the dogs. Yeah, Bonnie and our friend Emily up there in New York does also. Tom's with us. Tom did make it down to Port Canaveral. Tom, I hope you're behaving down there and not causing any trouble. No, I don't. I hope you're not. I hope you're misbehaving. It's a lot more fun that way. So he's down there. He's down there where Bonnie can get a hold of him and knock him in the head if he has to. So Bonnie's not too far away from Port Canaveral. She's on down the coast a little bit. But anyway, Tom says, I thought there was no show today. What did I miss? The surgeon got drunk and said, we're not gonna stuff a needle in Chillie's lung. Basically, that's what happened. Now they decided it was too small. It's not big enough to biopsy and not to worry about it. And there you go. Yeah. Blessing, and go about your business and stay out of trouble. So that's what they did. So I didn't have to go to the hospital, Tom. That's why I'm here today and not supposed to be. This is the Uncancelled show. So let's see. Where did we go here? Nikki says one of the son's co-workers in a restaurant in St. Augustine tested positive, and they closed the restaurant yesterday. Yep, not unusual. There's going to be a lot more of that. Cindy says Cullen County is voting today to make masks. Let me put that up. Is making face mask mandatory. Dallas County has already made it mandatory. Texas closed the bars down because they weren't wearing masks and practicing social distancing. Yeah, man, we got to do the things we don't want to do to get out of this. And too many people are trying to go right back to normal and not paying any attention to the social distancing and not wearing masks. And that's what happens. It goes to hell. Excuse my French, but it does. Tom is on getting on a cruise tomorrow at 11 a.m. Okay. Good for you, Tom. At least that is something. So let's see. Where are we? Pete says, same here with the West End no shows this year. Oh, yeah. The shows over there in Great Britain are the same. Prime Minister did suggest musicals could come back, but should have me singing. Oh, so we got to have Pete. Yeah, if they're going to have a damn musical, Pete needs to sing. I don't know. I wouldn't want to do that, but Pete's an actor. Pete's been an actor all his life. I don't know. Some of you may or may not know that. He's a soap opera star in England. Well, star might be pushing it a little bit, but he's been on their version of soap operas for years. Tom says, Bonnie, heat is good on the shoulder, humidity not so much. Glasses keep steaming up. Yeah, speaking of heat, Bonnie had a horrible time. She had no air conditioning for a good bit of the day yesterday, and that was just awful. So it's back on now, thank heavens. Gretchen says, I missed Hamilton yesterday. I know, Gretchen. That's awful. Pete says no singing. Yeah, that makes more sense. Bonnie says, Cindy, I lived in crazed Palm Beach County. Yeah, that's some of the news comes out of Palm Beach County. It's just, wow, it's just awful. The commissioners made masks mandatory and all the anti-maskers are crazed. Well, I know. They're crazed. And they'll claim for all the rights being violated. And but what about the rights of us that want to try to stay alive? They quickly forget about that. And then the rights to businesses, just, business is never going to, at least for now, is not going to be this what we're used to, folks. We got a mask. We've got to socially distance, or we're going to keep killing people. And none of us want that. I mean, I sure don't. None of us do. We want to get things back to normal, but we got to do it right, folks. Please do it right. Stay safe. Tom Henry, is the Falcon 9 launch still on schedule? Last I heard it was. I'll see if Tom answered that, Nikki. Tom, Pete, I booked that one and then saw the itinerary for the next one and moved it. Yeah, Hurdy Gruten is up sailing up there in Norway. And that's is not a true cruise ship, but it is quite a cruise experience. Let's see. I don't see that Tom answered that about. As far as I know, that is still on schedule. Tom said he was searching for a reduced NCL air cruises, and cruising air, and then found Cape Town to Dubai was the same air price. Wow, that's interesting. So anyway, we got our continuing run of information in the chat columns, which keeps everybody busy and they don't have to listen to me, which I like that. Gretchen is still working on the hubster to get him to go on a cruise again. And Gretchen, as much as you want to go on a cruise, as much as I want to go on a cruise, I understand his wanting to stay safe, his wanting to keep you safe. And yeah, we all want to get back to normal, and we want to cruise, and hopefully come October a year from now, when we do the European thing, hopefully things will be back to normal enough that we can do it. That's my hope, at least. So, all right, guys. Again, this is the uncanceled show this morning. And that's going to wrap up the uncanceled show for me for the day. Again, there wasn't a whole lot of news, but I'm glad that I'm with you and glad that I'm not in the hospital like I was supposed to be. I wish I'd have the information that I was going to get from this, but so be it. I guess that's better news than no news. So anyway, that's it. That's it for now. Glad to be back with you. I'll be back on a regular schedule from now on Thursday and Saturday of this week. And of course, Tuesday, Thursday next week. And then Saturday next week, I'll be out at the horse farm for the show, which will be fun because we'll have all kinds of animals that might come visit for that one. So it looks like I'll be out at the horse farm next week, which that'll be next weekend. So that'll be fun. So anyway, that's going to wrap me up for today, guys. You guys stay safe out there. Stay at home if you can. Wear your mask. Socially distance. Keep 6 feet away from everybody. Do the sanitizing thing with your hands, folks, all the time. Please, let's stay safe and get things back to normal. Please. You guys have a great day. I'll talk to you next time. This is the old fat travel guy. I'm looking forward to going on a cruise.
Thank you for watching today's travel and cruise industry news. Join us every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern for another episode. Travel and Cruise Industry News is a production of Chillie's Cruises.